Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about another recent purchase that I made with Tesla stock. Once again, this time around, this was not a purchase added to my Robinhood account. This was with my Roth IRA with Fidelity. So as a lot of you all know already that are subscribers, I recently have just been trying to max out my Roth IRA for the year of 2020, and I'm getting close to that slowly but surely. I'm trying to do it as fast as possible because for one thing, I think if I am going to make this purchase, I might as well do it before all of this happens with the S&P 500 inclusion. And I think over time, as we get closer and closer to that date, it feels like it's just going to be going up and up and up in terms of a share price. Now, of course, that's not guaranteed, but just based on so many different factors happening and this consistent growth that we've seen just in a matter of since the initial announcement, it just seems inevitable for the share price to just keep slightly growing, maybe with a pullback here and there between now and then, but still, I think overall the general trend will be upwards in terms of a share price. So if I'm going to try to make the purchase with my Roth IRA, then I might as well do it as fast as possible. And I probably won't be able to completely max it out at that $6,000 amount by the time of December 21st, but I'm going to try my best. And the unfortunate thing with me getting paid next month is that it will likely happen after the time of S&P 500 inclusion. So ironically enough, it seems like I'm always buying the stock with my dollar cost average strategy just at some of the highest times in terms of the share price. For example, I bought Tesla stock with a portfolio near Battery Day. It was either the day of or the day before, and then we had that pullback afterwards. However, in the long-term perspective, I still think I'm going to make a lot of money from even investing at some of the higher peaks just because of this long-term growth trend of this company that I expect to see over the next decade or so. And before we get into all of the specific details, let's just take a look at Tesla's current share price and the movement. We do have a few more hours until the market starts to move at 4 a.m. for Tesla, but currently we are at a value, and I almost forgot, as always, of course, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoy the Tesla videos and the transparency. But as you can see, we are currently at a share value of $584.50. And for Friday, we had a plus 2.05% gain. That is plus $11.76 added on to the share price. And then in the after hours for Friday, keep in mind the market closed a little bit earlier. After hours was, I think, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. That was at a minus 0.22% drop, which was minus $1.26 from the share price. Now, if I were to give my personal short-term prediction on what's going to happen on Monday, I would say personally, I think it's going to be a green day. Now keep in mind though, we have had a pretty notable run up so far with consistent multiple green days in a row. So there is the possibility of Monday being a red day, but just given these recent trends, if I was actually just forced to give a prediction or what I was expecting for Monday, maybe it's just what I'm hoping, but I think that we could have a green day for Monday. And if not, if it does turn out to be a red day, I still think the general trend will be upwards between now and S&P 500 inclusion. At this point, it just seems like a no-brainer because we still have a lot of institutional investors that are hesitating with this purchase. And then we also even have some discussion going around right now over whether S&P 500 inclusion could be delayed. But in my opinion, even if that situation were to happen, it would just make it that much more rough on them because I think there would still be that run up until they make that purchase because this purchase is inevitable and people know it's a big purchase. So there's a lot of retail investors and institutional investors that are buying into Tesla stock right now because they know that it's probably going to have a slight run up at least because of this mandatory purchase. And of course, as always, before we get into all of the details, keep in mind that anything that I say in this video is not to be considered financial advice. This is me just sharing my thoughts and opinions about Tesla stock and what I am personally doing in the market. So with all of that being said, let's take a look at the purchase receipt for my recent purchase of Tesla stock. As you can see from the image on the screen, it says order field, order to buy Tesla, one share field at $585.75. The purchase was made at the time of 2:05 p.m. on Friday. So if we just take a look at this purchase time compared to the rest of the market that day, as I stated, 2:05 p.m. So this was actually one of the lower parts of Friday. So if I were to make a purchase on Friday, this was actually probably one of the better times to make this purchase. And also, just to have full transparency with this specific Roth IRA account, and for those simply just interested in its progress so far, as many of you all know, I've only been putting money into this account recently. So I would say like the last month or so, maybe the last 1 to 2 months. But according to this, in terms of my contribution so far, it says that but I've put in $4,630 and I have $1,370 remaining to put into it. And with the current balance with this Roth IRA account, I am at $5,366.13. And another thing to add in here as well is that this does not include all of my money in Tesla stock. There's actually like $300 some that aren't in anything right now. And that was because for some reason when I made this purchase on Fidelity on Friday, it was in the extended hours and it would not let me make a fractional share purchase. So I actually had $900 to put into Tesla stock, but it only let me put in enough for one share. It wouldn't let me do like 1 point however many shares it is for the fractional share that the rest of that $900 will fill out. So keep in mind, like I said, I paid $586 or whatever it was, and then I have the remainder of that from the $900 to spend on Tesla stock Monday. And the only reason that purchase wasn't made on Friday, like I said, was simply because of this limitation with Fidelity. So unfortunately, I have to wait a little bit longer for tomorrow to make this purchase. Ideally, I would have preferred to make the purchase on Friday just because, as I've stated in previous videos, in general, the market seems to be a bit more susceptible to red days on Fridays just because of that uncertainty of no market days over the weekend. So I would have rather made that purchase on Friday, especially with us having a brand new week coming up and given the possibility that we could have a lot of people buying in on Monday. So like I said, I would have preferred to make the purchase on Friday, but unfortunately that's just how it was with Fidelity. I even tried it on desktop because I really wanted to get this full $900 order filled, but it just would not work out. It would only let me make that full non-fractional share purchase. It lets me do that any other time that it's not an extended hours. So given that, it just seems to be this thing with extended hours for Fidelity. But just referencing back with a portfolio, like I said, $5,366 so far with only a $4,630 investment, with around like $300 some of that not even being active or invested in anything. Like I said, I'll make that purchase on Monday, but that's still really solid when you think about the growth so far, and especially given the fact that this account is going to be completely tax-free by the time I'm 59 and a half and I can take it all out without having to pay any taxes. That's an awesome thing about the Roth IRA, and for those of you that aren't familiar with it, really make sure you prioritize the Roth IRA over the taxable account first, because the tax advantageous accounts are really one to just prioritize when you think about the fact that you could choose to put one in an account that's taxable first, but in reality, in my opinion, the best option is to prioritize the one that is going to benefit you the most first and try to max that out. At least that's what I'm doing personally. And just to reference some of my current justification for why I'm still buying Tesla stock at these prices, for one thing, like I stated, I feel like in the short term, this is still, at least for me personally, a pretty solid buy-in, because I think there's going to be a pretty decent run-up between now, even in the December 21st date when they have S&P 500 inclusion, or if they do it in two separate tranches as well. And there's another Tesla investor out there as well, who I think their name is Emmett Peppers, and they recently put in a $2.1 million call option on Tesla, and it expires in January, I believe, but their justification was very similar to mine, because like I said, I think there's going to be a big wave of purchasing happening between now and December 21st, and even aside from all of that and the action that I think we'll see over this next 25 days or so, in general, I'm a long-term investor, so this fits me pretty well. To those investors out there that are not looking from a long-term perspective or having a long time frame, then Tesla stock may not be the most ideal for them because there are some things priced in. However, I feel like for me personally, as a long-term investor and someone that is looking to hold a stock for decades or multiple decades, then this is a great opportunity as an investment for me, because we're seeing a convergence of multiple disruptive technologies, whether that's with the autonomy technology or the battery technology or the software. We're having a big revolution happening right now, and Tesla is just situated at the forefront of all of this in the most advantageous position possible, because they started much earlier than the rest of their competition out there, or should I say quote competition, because they're so far ahead. We've heard multiple CEOs from legacy automakers, especially with Volkswagen, Audi, all stating that Tesla is multiple years ahead of them in multiple technologies, and to be a legacy automaker right now, that is really a bad position, because if you're an EV startup, you can pretty much just start from ground up as an EV automaker. You don't have to engage in this big costly transition that is going to occur. So with legacy automakers, it's going to be very difficult for them to compete, and then with the EV automakers out there as well, even with many of them starting up as fresh companies, Tesla just has so much experience in this area that it's likely going to take even some of the newer EV companies to get a grasp grasp of and learned some of these things over the years, including Tesla's really efficient manufacturing, which is what Elon Musk has stated will be their primary long-term advantage. I just personally see so much opportunity with autonomy, and not only with just the vehicle side of Tesla, but with solar panels and battery storage as well. It's only a matter of time before we start to see even more larger scale battery projects and big companies adopting Tesla's battery technology, because it simply makes sense and it saves a lot of money. I believe just a few months ago we had an article, I think there was one with PG&E, and then there's also just many companies out there, but we've already got recent articles of companies talking about using Tesla's battery storage and actually saving them a lot of money. And not just a little bit, we're talking about millions of dollars in savings, which makes a huge difference for these large scale companies. And to see these large companies adopting this technology from another large company, to me it just solidifies the status of Tesla's products in terms of actually providing that cost savings and giving them that extra credibility. So as I stated, we're seeing a disruption in multiple technologies. Honestly, I could talk all day about this, but a lot of you all understand this already. But I just wanted to give some of my justification for why I'm buying Tesla stock right now. And as always, of course, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash that like button. And also feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below, especially with Webull right now. You can get 4 free stocks in total, 2 with signing up with my referral link. Those can be valued up to $250. And then the other 2 can be valued up to $1,600. And to get those, you would have to deposit $100 into your account. Keep in mind, you can take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. That's what I did. It really helps out by supporting the channel. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.